Alex Blake. I'm your host, Alex Blake.
And I'm Zach.
And this is Zach. Zach is my husband. If you guys know, if you listen to the first episode ever of Let's Create with Alex Blake, I told you that Zach was going to come on.
It's true.
And here he is. Yeah, I was true to my word.
I made it.
You guys can trust me. Yeah. It feels so funny because I talked to myself the whole time for the first episode. To have somebody with me right now, now it feels even more nerve-wracking. I don't know.
No, this is normal. We're just
chatting. We're just hanging out. This is what we do kind of all the time. We sit on the couch just like this. We have microphones in our hands and we look at a camera and talk to it.
Totally. And
this is Bear.
He hangs out with us
Bear,
all the
do you
time.
have anything to say?
No, he's a little stage fright. He's a little stage.
Okay, well, like I did last week, I'm going to grab my blanket and get comfy. You're going to get comfy too if you're listening while editing or anything like that. I only brought one, so sorry, Zach, you don't get a blanket.
It's going to be cold
also,
over here.
Bear is definitely sitting on my mic wire, so we're figuring things out here,
boy,
you know?
baby.
We're new to the podcast world. Though, I hope you guys liked my first episode.
I liked it.
Yeah, Zach had to like it.
I had to. I had no choice in this. But I liked it.
I gave Zach no preface at all to what we were going to talk about in this episode.
I have no idea what's happening.
Literally,
so,
he was like, should I have notes
go.
or something? And I was like, no, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
So,
we've never done anything like this before together. This is new.
Yeah, this is new.
So that's kind of fun.
It is fun. I feel like it's a fun creative outlet almost, and it's fun to get to do it together. So
yeah, I like this.
I know, and introduce you to all my friends.
I know
20 of you,
and
they're all of our friends that are listening.
I think I know mostly everybody.
Honestly, that's probably
maybe
true.
not.
Maybe not. If you don't know Zach and you want to be both of our friends, just let me know. DM me. I'll send you a video of Zach talking to you and saying hi.
Yes.
Okay.
We'll do that.
So this past week on my story. Actually, should we do life updates before I get into me and you?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, life updates. What's happened since last week? I started a podcast. That's a big deal, I feel like.
That's true.
That
was
true.
That was kind of a huge deal.
It was. Honestly, it was kind of a crazy week to start the podcast too because I've been out of town for the last 2 weeks. So we went on a cruise 2 weeks ago. That was really fun. I got
Was that only 2 weeks ago? Yeah. That feels like it was a month ago.
We've been busy,
crazy.
Honestly, yeah. But it was really fun. We went to Cozumel and Honduras.
Did you tell them about the cruise last week?
No.
I don't remember it.
I don't think so.
So, if y'all have ever been on a cruise before...
I know what you're going to say.
We had an experience.
We did have an experience.
A very interesting experience.
Cruises are great if you go on the right cruise.
Go on the right cruise. And, we went on Carnival. And, I'm not going to say anything bad about Carnival.
You were about to, though.
In case, Carnival, if you want to sponsor us, this video, I'm not going to say anything
Carnival's totally going to watch this and totally going to sponsor us.
No, they're not. Carnival was trash. That's all I'm going to say. Carnival was complete trash.
You went there.
I went there. I'm going to say
I've been on another Carnival cruise, and it was fine. But this one, we loved all of the crew members that were on the boat. They were amazing. Yeah,
Sina was amazing. We became really good friends with Sina.
Yeah, we have her on our WhatsApp.
Yeah, and Christian.
And Christian,
amazing guy.
Yeah. So we loved the people that worked for the boat, but the boat itself, guys, it was... I was going to say it was born. It was born in 1994. That was you. You were born in 1994.
I was born in 1994.
But the boat was
so
made.
Was this boat.
Yeah, the boat was made in 94, and you could tell.
That's basically you calling me old right now.
Well,
the boat was old, and so am I.
It needed some renovations, and so does Zach.
So do I. I need a home makeover.
A home makeover.
Yeah.
Anyway, though, the boat was just really small. Guys, they had one pool in the middle of the boat, and it was a tiny pool.
It was so small.
It was so small. And it just looked German fested. I told Zach it was actually disgusting to me.
When I first heard you just say that, I heard German fested.
It was a German festival, actually, on the cruise.
Yeah, I don't know. That's what I heard.
No, well, that's not what I said. You feel awkward right now. Are you nervous?
No, I'm just chilling. I'm just chilling right now.
I think he's a little bit nervous, guys.
I'm so nervous.
So nervous. He's going to start sweating. Anyway, the cruise was great, but that was like 2 weeks ago. So I guess we can count that as a life update since we like just started this whole podcast shindig thing.
Yeah.
But then after that, I went to my friend Preston's content, like I was about to say weekend, but it was just like a couple days, but it was during the week.
Yes. So when she went up to Club Content, so she went up there and so did Cassidy, so did Megan.
Yeah, a bunch of my
Obviously,
friends, my friend
Preston was
Lindsay. Yeah.
But Cassidy went there, and while Cassidy was up there, her husband Charlie came down and stayed with me. Shout out Charlie.
And it was like, that was actually crazy though, because I didn't know. Okay, actually listen to this story. Here's story time. So this was wild because basically I told you guys last week how Cassidy and I met because I flew her down to speak at Photo Camp, which is my educational content weekend that happened back in April. We have another one in October, but she is speaking at both of them. And that's how we met. And it was super fun and everything. But Zach and Charlie were like the best of friends. Like they got along so well. We had so many random things in common with Cassidy and Charlie. But anyway.
Really the only difference between me and Charlie is Charlie has a mustache.
It's a really big mustache. That's a big difference.
It's a huge difference.
But other than that, same person, I think. Also, Charlie's a lot better at disc golf than you are.
Ouch. That hurts.
I'm just being
that
real.
hurts.
I'm just being real. He does like competitions and stuff.
Yeah. Charlie's great. He's just better than me.
Anyway, so a bunch of my friends that were at Photo Camp, we all decided we were going to surprise Preston at his content week. I keep going to say weekend, but it was his content days. It was 2 days. Anyway, and it's in Arkansas. So we're like planning this whole thing. Cassidy's in on it. Preston has no idea. And then Preston starts like guilt tripping us that we're not going. Guys, I'm not kidding. Zach knows this. He literally sent me and Megan a picture. He's going to kill me for saying
He is going to kill you for saying this.
He sent me and Megan a picture of him crying.
He's literally crying.
Like actually crying. These are not fake tears. And he's like, nobody's coming to support me. And so I texted the girls and I'm like, guys, we have to tell Preston that we're coming. Like, we can't keep this from this is bad. And so we did. We said, okay, me and Megan are coming. Surprise. It was a whole thing. But Lindsay, who did content for me, she did like all of my social media for Photo Camp. She was coming and we kept her a secret and we kept Cassidy a secret. Okay. So he knows that we're coming, but he doesn't know about Lindsay and Cassidy. Then Preston texts Lindsay and was like, hey, what do I have to do to hire you for content for Club Content?
Yep.
And so then that one was like, okay, well, no surprise there, because then it was awesome that Lindsay got the job, right? And so we're like supporting her, but we're like, okay, Cassidy's the only secret now. Turns out, Cassidy, this story is like crazy right now. So Cassidy texts me, like a week before or something, and is like, Alex, I'm so sad because I'm not gonna be able to make it. My sister Lindsay's coming in town. And I'm like, oh, that sucks, because like that's the one last surprise. And also I was excited to see Cassidy, you know? So like she's not gonna be there. That's sad, whatever. Okay, everything's fine. But I'm sad.
And then this is where I come in.
This is where it turns out.
This is where, I come in.
The plot twist.
Then Charlie texts me probably around the same time that Cassidy told her she couldn't show up. And Charlie was like, hey, can you keep a secret from Alex? I said, of course I can.
And he did.
Of course I can.
How do we feel about that in our marriage?
I don't know. Red flag. But then he was like, okay, so Cassidy is actually planning on going to Club Content, but you can't tell Alex because she wants it to be a surprise for everybody, all this stuff. And then Charlie was like,
because so Preston basically found out everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Preston, you cannot surprise him. Like that's the thing about Preston Luke.
Preston will figure it out.
Yep.
Yeah. So then Cassidy went over there, surprised everybody, and Charlie came down to me, in South Carolina, Charleston.
It's like 15 hours.
He drove from Michigan to me.
With his dog.
He loves me. It's great.
So all of this to say, Charlie loves Zach. That was this whole point of the story. That's a pretty great life update.
That was a good way to start the podcast.
So Cruz went to Arkansas. Charlie from Michigan came to South Carolina to hang out with Zach.
True.
That was really fun. And then this past week, this is what I was saying. This is the whole start of the podcast. I was just saying that last week was crazy to start the podcast because I was out of town for 2 weeks, I had a lot of shoots last week.
Every day.
Yeah, every day except our
Every
small
evening.
group night. And even that day, I had to shoot during the day, actually. So every day except Sunday, I had to shoot. Which,
Wild.
yeah, some of you guys listening might do that if you're a photographer. But for me, it's been a while since I've had a week like that. Probably since this time last year, because summer is like super busy season for me because I have a lot of tourists that come.
Yeah, usually we're pretty good about taking a day off together.
Yeah.
1 or 2 days.
We were not this week. We were
No.
not good at that.
No.
Yeah. But we always do Sundays. But I told you guys last week, Zach is actually a pastor. So we get to lead a church here, which is super fun. So while I take Sundays off of photography, it's like different for us than like a normal rest day because we get to lead church and hang out with our friends. But it's not always like super restful.
Yeah.
Yesterday was super fun though.
Yesterday was, and we're making this podcast on a Monday, so yesterday was Sunday.
Yeah.
It was a great day, but it was long.
We went
It was a
surfing
long
after
day.
church, and I'm still learning to surf. Yesterday, the waves were way too big for me. And I know we're in South Carolina, so like our waves aren't big. So
They were great for me. I was having a great time.
I was struggling.
I went surfing 3 times this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and it was
Yeah,
the
you
dream.
did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he woke up at like sunrise 2 days and went.
Yeah.
And I was like, I had a shoot at sunset at the beach last night, and I'm tired, so I'm not going.
I'm convinced there's nothing better in the world than being out on the water at sunrise surfing.
I think I've only done it once, and when I went, it was practically a lake.
Yeah.
No, maybe I've gone twice, but the last time that we went, it was like
flat.
super flat, and we were like, why did we do this? I woke up at like 5. I was
Yeah.
just angry.
That's true.
But Zach says he sees a lot of dolphins,
Dolphins are out there. We're just hanging
like
out.
at sunrise.
Yeah.
Because I don't feel like I see them when I go, when it's not sunrise.
Yeah. I don't know.
Maybe I'm just the bad luck. I don't know.
They don't like you.
Okay, I think it's time to transition, ladies and gentlemen. That was the intro to our episode, our life updates. We took forever talking.
That was a long intro.
If you're still hanging with us, you truly love us, and I'm happy about that. Okay, this week on my Instagram, I don't know if I told you this or not, but I posted a picture of us, and Zach doesn't use Instagram a ton, so sometimes he doesn't see the things that I post.
True.
But I was kind of hoping you wouldn't, so that everything would be a surprise.
No, I did not see anything.
I posted
know
a
nothing.
picture of us on my story and just said, I'm going to have you on the podcast.
Cool.
And I said, what do you want to hear? What do you want to know about Zach? Or what questions do you have for us? Or what topics do you have? Or really anything you're thinking.
Nice.
So I have a little list of things that people wrote, and I want us to talk about it.
Okay.
It's nothing
let's talk
crazy.
about it.
It's nothing like,
Oh, it's going to get insane.
it's getting crazy. No.
I'm ready.
Nothing crazy.
I'm ready for anything.
Okay. The first question is, what is your relationship timeline? Ooh, his face.
Like when we met and all of the
Yeah,
things.
do you want to talk about it?
Sure.
We don't have to go into detail. Don't go into like crazy
Oh,
detail.
I'm going into crazy detail.
Crazy. But like our timeline, you know?
No, so we met.
Do you remember the day we met?
Not like the
Actually I don't remember the day.
date?
Do you remember the week we met?
Yeah, so we met the week of Halloween.
What day was it? Not the
It was
date. Like what day was it?
Oh, it was a Wednesday.
Good job. And what time was
It
it?
was a Wednesday.
What
at
time was it,
noon.
Zach Otto? At noon.
At noon. That's
Good
that's
job.
Pretty good.
That is
that's
good.
pretty good.
Zach has like the worst memory in the world sometimes.
It's
and I remember like
very
every
true.
finite
finite.
detail. Okay.
You don't remember
Wednesday.
words though, so I don't know about that. So yeah, we met on a Wednesday, the Wednesday before Halloween.
Yeah.
I guess
What year?
2017.
2017.
Yeah, so
So that ages us a little bit, I feel like.
7 years ago. Isn't that crazy?
Dang.
Yeah, we're old. So we met
That's
at
wild.
church,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody in the crowd says,
Not in
"Aw."
Charleston.
No, we were in Atlanta, right outside of Atlanta, Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
And I had just started a job at 12 Stone Church, which is the church I still work for today. And I was doing a residency at 12 Stone. And I was doing worship stuff for them. So that means I did all of the music. I did all of this stuff.
I literally said not to go into detail. And you're like,
That's true. I was going into
talking
way too
about
much detail.
everything.
Okay, yeah. So we met then. And then we were kind of just friends for a long time.
Yeah.
Until
Do you remember?
September of the next year.
That's true. But I will say, he fell in love with me early. He started flirting with me.
No, that's not true. That's legitimately not true at all. So
I had the biggest crush on
was
Zach.
it before I ever got there?
No, I didn't know you until you got there.
Okay,
I didn't know
So
you
when right after we met, I found out
Immediately,
later
I stalked
Alex
him on social media.
Yeah, she went on a deep dive of stalking me on social media, and I had no idea. Right, so she is stalking me. She knows literally
No, I wasn't
everything.
actually stalking.
About
Do not
me.
say that. That is not
It
true.
was creepy, y'all. Red flag.
That is not true. Don't even.
I mean, it was
You're really adding
not
me right
completely true, but a little bit true.
Okay, whenever my friends start dating someone, they always like send me the name so that I can do the deep dive because I can. It's like a hidden talent. It's slightly creepy.
Talent.
I said it's
don't know.
creepy.
Obsession.
I'll admit it.
Yeah.
It's fine. Anyway, it wasn't that
Little
creepy, but I
creepy.
did have a crush on Zach. But you started like
No. Listen to this. Actually, the first time we ever met, she thought I was somebody else. That's a true story.
That is true.
So we
Someone
met,
else named Zach.
and I was being introduced to the staff at this campus, and I was like meeting everybody, and then I go to meet Alex, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I already know you."
It was
And
kind
I was
of
like,
embarrassing.
I'm like, I don't think so. I'm like, I don't think we've ever met. And she thought I was a different Zach
Yeah.
that she had seen before, and I wasn't. So it was pretty awkward.
Yeah, everyone was like, "How do you know him?" But
And
I didn't.
was like, "How do you know me?"
Yeah, it was weird. Anyway, though, okay, we can talk full details later about this. We don't need to go into this too much right now. But basically, we started officially dating September 2018. And then you proposed May of 2019.
Yep.
And we were married December 2019. So
Yeah, it was pretty quick.
we were
It
fast,
was
you know.
like,
We knew what we
boom,
wanted.
I was ready.
We knew what we wanted.
We were both ready.
So funny.
Yeah, we got married right before COVID.
Yeah, oh my gosh, I'm so thankful.
Yeah, seriously.
Literally, December 5th, 2019.
And we went on the best honeymoon. We went to Athens, Greece.
Yes,
and
actually,
to Santorini.
somebody asked about that.
Really?
Yeah, they said, "How was your honeymoon in Greece?" I think it was Sue. So, hey,
Sue!
Sue.
Oh my gosh, what's up?
Yeah, I think it was Sue.
Maybe. If not, still, what's up? Our time in Greece was amazing.
Yeah,
It was so much fun.
it was.
We were so jet lagged when we got there.
Yeah.
Remember this story?
We were exhausted because we had literally just come from our wedding.
Yeah, we had come from our wedding and we flew like overnight. It's like a 7-hour time difference, 6 or 7 hour time difference. And we arrive in Athens, we get to our Airbnb, and we fall asleep super early. And then we
is so
both
funny.
wake up at the same time, and I get up and I start
We like say
getting
good
ready.
morning.
Yeah, we say
to
good
each
morning.
Other.
We're like, oh my
Zach's
gosh,
like, "All right, I'm gonna
we're
go take a
married, all this
shower."
stuff. It's our first full day in Greece.
We're so excited.
Yeah, we're like, and I'm like awake too. So I get up, I go take a shower, and like wash myself, all the things, and then I come back. I don't know why I said that, but I come back and then I look at my phone, and it's 9:30 p.m. 9:30 p.m.
We're like getting ready for the next day.
We're getting ready for the next day. So I was like,
The jet
oh
lag
my
hit
gosh.
us.
Yeah, it was
hit us.
It was brutal.
But
So
once we
then-
got used to it, it was great.
Yeah, but then we had to go back to sleep.
Yeah, no,
for
that
a
was
whole night.
terrible.
It was the first night was horrible.
Yeah,
that
but
was
other than
brutal.
that, we loved Athens. Like, we loved the history of Athens, and the
Mm-hmm.
people of Athens were just like amazing. They like brought us shots every time that they found out we were American. They'd be like,
True.
"Oh, here you go," and we're like, "Oh, thank you." You know?
Yeah, we were kind of there in the off season. So
Yeah, that was really
it
special.
It was kind of nice. People weren't as like
Yeah.
uptight.
I think we really appreciated going to Athens in the off season. Santorini in the off season had its ups and its downs, because we went to Athens and Santorini. But like, Santorini is beautiful, so it was really cool to experience how empty it was in comparison to like the actual season, the on
True.
season.
And we
or whatever.
literally stayed like right in one of the stone huts kind of
Yeah,
thing.
like on the
right
cliff.
on
Oh
the
my gosh.
cliff. It was so
stunning.
amazing.
But the only thing about it was like, because it was off season, remember there were only 2 restaurants open on the whole island.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there
times.
wasn't a ton, but it was really fun for us because we love getting to know like locals and stuff. So we got to do that, which was fun.
Yeah, it was
So
good.
that's how our honeymoon was. Are you ready for the next question?
Sure.
Okay, here we go.
Hit me with it.
Is Zach creative or is it just you?
Ooh, that's a good question.
What do you think, Zach?
Not at all.
Never.
I'm the least
No.
creative person in the world.
No, that's so sarcastic. Zach is actually extremely creative.
Yeah, I would say like we're both super creative.
Yeah.
But in very different ways.
Which is cool because I feel like it balances us.
Uh-huh. Yeah, so I'm more so creative in like the music world of things. Like I grew up doing music, all of this kind of stuff. I love writing music. Yeah, it's like a really important thing for me to this day. Even though I'm not doing music as much anymore, music is still a huge part of my life, I guess.
Well,
I did, so the song that you hear at the beginning and at the end of the podcast I made, and that's me
Zach.
singing. That's yeah. Me and my other friend named Zach
also
as well.
named Zach. Zach
he helped
squared.
me make it. So that was a fun little project. But for me, like I love songwriting. I love being creative in that way. It's almost like journaling for me, I'd say. Like I love songwriting. I love getting my thoughts out that way. So
sometimes that's how you pray too.
Yeah, that's how I pray. That's how I do a lot of different things. And so I like journal and write and kind of like process things kind of in that lane.
Yeah. That's actually, it leads into the next question. Somebody said, how do you find inspiration to be creative in your own ways? For you, honestly, I really feel like yours is processing a lot of the time. Not always for everything, but like for your lyrics, I definitely think so. Like your emotions almost. And he's not super like, Zach isn't a super emotional person.
That's true.
So I feel like it is your way of processing it, you know?
Yeah. Like I need that time to start processing things. And like whatever I'm feeling, I'll start writing it down. And then a lot of times that just turns into song lyrics and stuff too, which helps me process things.
But Zach is one of those people, I know that like a lot of musicians, I really know nothing about music, I'll be honest, but I do know that a lot of musicians take like a long time to finish a song. And for Zach, he can sit down and he's like, done. Yeah. You're really quick at it. Because it's like when inspiration strikes, you know?
When I'm inspired, and it could be by anything. Like, it could be by me, like, going and sitting out at sunrise on a surfboard, and then I'll start having song ideas. Like, that actually happened not that long ago, where it's like I started having song ideas, and I'm just sitting outside, and so I go home and start processing, start praying, and, like, a song comes out of that, and it's really cool.
Yeah. I think for me, I think I said this last episode too, but I think for me, the beach is a big source of inspiration. And then I think people in general are a source of inspiration for me. Like, obviously, I'm very creative when it comes to photography. So when I see people, like, even just my friends. Okay, so we went on our surf day yesterday, right? And my friend Amanda was there, and she was surfing, and I was watching her surf, and all I could think in my head was pictures. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure that doesn't happen to you, but other photographers, like, I don't know if that happens to you, but sometimes I'll be like watching people in their natural element, and it's like, I wish I had my camera right now. I wish I could take photos right now. And it's like inspiration. And so then I told her and Jaden after, I was like, oh, I want to do a surf shoot with you because I saw that. So it was like inspiration of what was candidly happening in the moment with people.
Yeah. I also think too, like, I'm not always inspired when I start to write things. Sometimes I'm just writing things because I know I need to process stuff, and I have a rhythm and a routine of processing things, of journaling things.
This is getting really deep.
I mean, this is just real.
But it is true. That is true.
But it's like if I have to wait to write something every time I'm inspired, then it's going to be pretty sporadic. But like I'm in a constant routine and rhythm of just journaling, and then out of that, I think I can write probably a lot of things.
You know, that's interesting because it kind of reminds me, and this is like obviously a very different thing, but if I'm in a regular routine of shooting, then I am easily inspired by the people that I'm shooting to like try new things too. So I have like my routine of what I do with them, but then like certain people move in different ways and I can try different poses and stuff like that. But maybe I wouldn't try those as much because they're not like off of the top of my head if I haven't been in the routine of shooting. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So I think like, I don't know, inspiration, obviously, or just being creative in general. It comes from being inspired, but it also comes from the discipline of just doing it too. You know, of just sitting down and.
That's a cool thought. That was a good question. I don't remember who wrote that in, but that's a good question. Okay. This is this is one. How does Zach support you? I was laughing because I saw the next one. I can't wait to see that one.
Oh, gosh.
How does Zach support you? Well, in a
That's
lot
question
of
for
ways.
you,
It is a
not for
question
me.
for me. Yeah. So don't talk, Zach. Let me talk.
I'll just sit here and shut up.
No, I think a lot of ways. Seriously, I think there's kind of different facets too. I cannot speak today.
Facets, finite.
Whatever. To that question, and really different like avenues that I can take it. I think there are ways that he supports us or supports me in our marriage. I think there are ways that he supports me emotionally. I think there are ways that he supports me in my business. One of the biggest ones that I can think about right now when it comes to like business is obviously this podcast is a huge one. Zach made the song for it. Zach edits it. Zach posts it to YouTube. Zach kind of does everything. I just talk. Honestly,
true.
that is our
That
marriage
is
in a
true.
nutshell.
That is
just here.
fact. That is very
Zach
true.
does it all.
Yep.
So that's a big one. But then even just for photo camp, like Zach is there to do whatever I need. And even like when we were leading into the first photo camp for April, he was like, what can I take off your plate? What can I do? Blah, 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 blah. And like, you did so much. You met with my mom about food and you guys took that. So I didn't even have to think at all about it. You did all the setup for all the shoots pretty much so that I didn't have to think about it. Like you're just there to support. And obviously that's super helpful. So thank you.
No problem.
But I think like even just something simple for our marriage, one of the things that we try to do for each other, I can't remember who told us this. Maybe it was in premarital that we learned this, but like,
I think Jason, if I'm thinking about what you're
I'm sure that you are, but like we try to outserve each other.
Yeah.
And that was a piece of advice that we got. I really think it probably was
Jason Barry.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jason.
He's our pastor. But he also did our premarital counseling before we got married. And
Jason
I think
Amber
that
did.
Jason said that. And it's stuck with us. And so that's something that we always try to do for each other. So Zach outserves me all the time. Like I can try, but like Zach will always win in that department. I really feel like that.
So
but one
any
thing,
young married couples out there, make it your goal to outserve one another.
yeah,
It's a good piece of advice.
it is a good piece of advice.
Saying.
Anyway, though, but like, yeah, so Zach knows like things that serve me and they're really small, but he'll like, they add up, he'll do them all the time. So like Zach brings me coffee every morning, no matter what. Zach makes me coffee. Even like when he had the sunrise surf the other day, I came out and the coffee was made for me and there was a little note next to it and it was like serving me.
Honestly, I did it the first morning, but the next morning where I had a sunrise surf,
Nope.
I didn't do it.
But that was the first time that he hasn't made me coffee in like
I woke up a little late and
long
I
time.
was going.
He's
I was
like,
ready to
yesterday will
serve.
do.
I was like, I did it yesterday. Good enough.
But honestly, I think like the way that you serve me in general is how you support me, I would say. And that goes into my business too. I also think a way that you support me is by asking me really good questions. Like sometimes you'll challenge me, even in like my business, right? Like if I've been working too much or, okay, this is actually a really good one. We were talking about how much I was shooting because I was gone for 2 weeks. And I mean, even without me being gone for the 2 weeks and like me shooting this much, Zach was like, should you raise your prices? And started like asking me questions that led me to a couple different answers for me and my business based on him as my husband seeing me maybe veer towards a little bit more unhealthiness in some areas and stuff. And he can see those things and call them out and ask me questions and guide me to like the right place or the right decisions that I need to make for my business too.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so.
I was just talking.
No, I think that's good. If I can just add on to it a little bit. This is kind of just like how I support you a little bit too. But I was thinking about this. But like I'm leading this leadership cohort thing at the church, and I was telling them one of the things that I want to grow in, and something I've been trying to practice more is like I heard this pastor talk one time about part of his role as a pastor is to like speak destiny into people's lives. So if he sees somebody with a gift in something that's like, man, I want to see you grow in that gift, or if you have a passion for something, I want to see you grow in that passion and actually do it. And So I think that's one of the things that I want to grow in more, but also like even with this podcast, it's like, man, I saw that you were passionate about this. You wanted to do it. And I was like, let's do it. Let's just do it. Let's
Honestly,
have fun with it.
I mean, like,
go.
sure, grow in it, but also, like, I feel like you do that really well. Like this, like the podcast, photo camp, my business in general, like Zach 100% has been like, let's do it. This is a dream of yours. Let's do it. And that is totally something that, even vacations, I'm like, I want to take this vacation. Zach's like, let's do it.
Let's go.
And we're always like wise with our financial decisions, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, we're not dumb.
Yeah.
We're not dumb.
I mean,
we don't
try
just
not
do
to be.
everything. We don't just do everything.
Yeah.
But
that's a really good
yeah,
question.
I just
though.
wanna,
I think that was a
things.
good answer.
I want to
it.
see you do things.
Yeah. Thanks. Thanks for helping
Anytime.
out. Thanks for
Anytime.
supporting me, Zach.
Anytime.
Okay, this is the next one. You ready for it?
Oh, gosh.
His lasagna.
Oh!
Who do you think wrote that in?
That's got to be Preston.
I think it actually may have been Megan, but she was
Oh,
definitely
really?
talking about Preston. Do you want to explain your lasagna?
Okay, so
Or
let me
explain-
back up
yeah,
even a little
yeah.
bit more. So during COVID, I got really into cooking and
Was this creative
started.
outlet?
yeah. Honestly, it kind of was like it was a way for me just to be able to like do something, like take my time doing it and process and just like enjoy myself like while doing that, and started just like watching a bunch of Joshua Wiseman on YouTube and Nick DiGiovanni and like started learning and stuff. And
I hate cooking. I
got
don't know
a
any of
couple
these people.
cookbooks, and then my buddy Matt Lewis, he's also really into cooking. So I just watched him do it, and we talked about it a bunch. So I started getting really into cooking, and then Preston was here. How long ago? A year ago?
No.
Oh.
This was only back. I mean, yeah, he was here a year ago, but the
Was that when
lasagna
you
thing
made it?
was like in February. Zach.
Oh, I don't know. So in February, Preston came over. He came down and visited for a week, and I decided to make some lasagna. And it was gluten-free, too. That's the crazy thing. And
Gluten-free
it
and low FODMAP.
was so good. It was fire, honestly. I wasn't sure how it would turn out, and it
But
turned
Preston
out.
legitimately still has dreams about this lasagna.
He almost put it in his suitcase and brought it home. Like, flew it home.
Ew.
It was... I mean, he was serious about it.
He really was. So that's the deal with the lasagna.
But yeah, I love to cook. That is the thing about I love to cook.
Yeah. How was the move to Charleston? That was somebody's question.
How was the move to Charleston? It took longer than we expected. Like the initial move.
Yeah.
Like I was moving here because of a job switch and still working for 12 Stone, just switched positions. And it took me like 6 months to switch from my old job and
Yeah.
find a replacement and all of the things.
That
get
made
to
it
the new
really,
job.
really interesting for me, even
Yeah,
like getting
yeah, that was
clients here,
insane. That was
because I
insane.
thought that it was going to be quicker than it was. And
Yeah.
like, I couldn't yet, just because of the nature of our job, like I couldn't yet like announce it on social media. And you know, when you move, like a lot of photographers will say like, go ahead and like tell people that you're moving on social, like make ads for it and all these things. And I'm like, I
It took
can't do any of that.
forever. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So that was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
We had to deal with honestly a lot of like frustration even within ourselves. I feel like during
Yeah.
that time. But
Well, we were just like antsy.
We were
like, we were
antsy.
just
We were
like ready
so
to get
ready
here.
to
But looking
go,
back
and
too, I'm
love
glad that we
Charleston.
had like the long on ramp, just because I think it really prepared
Yeah,
us in that
yeah.
season for everything that was to come.
yeah, but the move itself, like it was great. We were so ready to get here,
Yeah.
and when
We found
got here,
community so quick.
We found community really quick. Adam and Jaden, they were in Laura. They were our first friends that we met here.
Yeah.
We love
Guys,
them.
my friendship with Laura, who we just mentioned, was so funny because Laura, so when we moved here, I was 28, right?
Yeah.
No, 27. I was 27.
27.
But Laura moved here like a week or something after we moved here, and she was 19. And so that's like a pretty big age difference. But like me and Laura hit it off real quick, and I would like see her, she'd be like walking her dogs, and I would like run out onto our balcony and be like, hey Laura, want to do a shoot today? I have no friends and I have nothing to do. Like I didn't have any clients yet, and she didn't have a job yet, so we just hung out all the time together.
That's good.
And Laura texted me that she was sad that she didn't get a shout out. So here you go, Laura. Here's your shout out.
Wait, you know who also was sad about not getting a shout out?
I know what you're gonna say.
Should we do it or no?
My brother My brother was really upset about
so-
not getting a shout out. Not actually upset, but
I mean,
like
to the point of tears, basically.
But he called me and he was like, "How much do I have to pay you for every episode for you to give me an ad?" So I told him he had to pay me $30. So
you owe us $30.
you owe us $30.
You didn't know it's $30 each.
My brother, his name is Payne Durham. He's in the NFL, which is like my claim to fame, actually. So you guys should look him up. Payne Durham, NFL, number 87, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I expect $30 in my Venmo. Thank you, Payne.
And 30 in mine.
Ooh, double it. Yeah, because we both talked about it.
That was a fact.
Anyway, anything else on our move to Charleston?
Oh, I can't think of anything.
I feel like the move itself was honestly pretty easy.
Yeah.
It was like my business side of things. I'll definitely have an episode on what to do if you're planning on moving. And like that was really hard starting from scratch. That was hard work. But also at the same time, I said this last week, but like I feel like God had just provided every step of the way. Not I feel like I know he really did. And it was really, really amazing to be forced to lean on him financially.
Yeah, when we moved here, it was kind of this thing where we were sensing God leading us into a place of just having risky faith. And
yeah, I said that last week.
Oh, cool, cool. And there's nothing against like what we were doing. Like what we were doing was great. We were both actually working for the church at the time, and I was
doing photography on the side.
Yep, and we were in a pretty comfortable place. Like I could have stayed in my position for a long time, and but we began to sense the Lord doing something new inside of us, challenging us in how we lived. And really the whole move to Charleston came out of that. It came out of this place of like, all right, God is calling us to do something new. And it was a fun move, but it was like so risky and it was hard at the same time. It was so stretching in every way.
Yeah, in every way.
I mean, when I moved here, I moved and to basically like start a church in a way that we never had before.
We started the church in our living room.
Yeah, we started in our living room.
In this room, right here.
In this room, and I took a pay cut to do this, and we came here not knowing really a single person.
And then I quit my job that was at the church, which was like a salary paying job, and went full time.
Yeah.
And I was kind of at this point, and I actually said this at Club Content too when I spoke at Preston's thing, but like it was at the point where I was kind of needing to choose one. Like I wouldn't have said that at the time, but looking back, like I was an idiot, honestly. And I was doing like 6 to 7 shoots on a Saturday and just exhausting myself editing on the in between, and then also working my full-time job and like loving on people at the church and all the things too. And I just felt like so dry because I was overworking myself.
Yeah,
and
you were
so
burnt out, for sure.
so then it was a whole new thing of like starting this whole new business, learning all of the different avenues of that. Like it was a lot.
Yeah.
But
so we
also,
were trying to start a church, and I had taken a pay cut. Alex was starting all over, so she took
making
a pay
nothing.
Cut. I went and got like a second job. I was working a part-time job, and it was just
which was
hard.
new for our marriage even. Like this season had never happened for us before.
But at the same time, it was so life-giving.
Yes.
It's crazy. Like it was one of the hardest seasons, but it was the most life-giving season for us too. And it was really kind of God just like in that season to pour into us again. I feel like it was a season of us really like coming back to the basics of following Jesus, coming back to like our first loves and like figuring that out, and then just having really deep and good community in the place that we lived. It was a beautiful season for us.
And Charleston's awesome.
Charleston is amazing.
There's that. Okay, next question.
All right.
Please tell us about the evolution of his hair.
Ooh,
that's actually such a funny question.
Oh my gosh. My hair. So right now my hair, I'm not gonna.
Oh, you have a hat on.
But
he does have long hair.
If you're
right
watching
now. He's got
on
flow.
YouTube, like you can see the fluff in the back. And it's pretty long right now.
Yeah.
Pretty long.
It's shoulder length? No, it's
no,
shorter than
not.
that.
It's not shoulder length. But
you need a haircut
down,
right now, honestly.
past my ears and. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's a good 2 inches past his ears, just to give you perspective.
It's pretty long right now, but long hair is a fairly new thing for me. I had long hair when I was in like middle school.
He had the Bieber cut.
I had the Bieber cut.
I've seen pics.
And my mom would always bring me to this hairdresser, Carol. I remember her name, Carol. And
I've never heard this.
Carol talked me into getting highlights when I was in middle school. And I didn't know any better. So I was like, yeah, sure, I'll get some highlights. So I had the Bieber cut, middle school, braces, the swoosh, the
Bieber swoosh.
The Bieber swoosh with highlights. And all the girls loved me for it. Sure. Come on. That was the look back in the day. Oh my gosh. I was something back then. I was looking good.
I love that they asked about the evolution of your hair. And you went all the way back to middle school.
Okay, yeah. So then post long hair, post Bieber swoosh, I just went short hair for the longest time.
Buzz cut?
I'm trying to think. Like after that, I think I went to just like shorter. It wasn't a buzz cut. It was like longer on top.
Okay.
A little bit longer on top, but I would put like gel in it and rock it that way. Mm-hmm. It's pretty amazing.
You did do a buzz cut during college though, because I've seen pictures and it was rough.
During college, I feel like I went through a few different phases.
He was figuring out who he was.
I remember I tried to like do the shaved sides of my head and like longer on top, and that I looked like a llama, and it was weird.
Wait, no, that's how it was when we met.
No, not like super long on top.
Oh, like really long, like man bun?
Longer on top, and I tried that, and it didn't look good.
Interesting. I don't know what you're talking about.
But then in college, I was going on a mission trip, and I literally just shaved my head. It was bad. Actually, I was back down in Charleston, and this was like
Zach's family lives here, to get perspective. So.
And it was like right before I was going on this mission trip, and this buddy of mine, he was like, "Oh, I can cut your hair." Like I needed a haircut, so I was like, "Yeah, man, sure." And I remember going over to his place, and I just sat in his garage, and he's like, "Yeah, what do you want?" I was like, "I don't know." He's like, "How about a 2?" I was like, "I don't know what a 2 is, bro." I was like, "Just go for it."
Not a 2.
And it literally was so short, and I remember it looked so weird at first because it was a little bit longer, and it kind of just like puffed out. My head looked weird.
Zach kind of has a small head.
I have a small head. It is.
It's true.
It's true. I can only rock dad hats.
So like the buzz cut was not a thing.
Oh, I looked weird, and my head was so pale. Oh my gosh, it was not a look.
But then when we met, it was like, how do you describe it?
I mean, I for the longest time, it was a little bit longer on top, and I had a part. It looked great.
It was very like 2019 guy's hair, honestly.
Yeah. No, it didn't look bad.
It didn't. It was just, that was the decade, you know?
Yeah, it was kind of just like a normal haircut for a guy.
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah.
But now he's got the flow going.
But now I've got the flow going, and honestly...
You started growing it out.
I love the longer hair. I love the longer hair.
What, probably 2021? No, 2022.
Yeah, definitely 2022.
Yeah. And then he's been rocking it since.
Yeah, and if you've ever grown out your hair, like, you just go through some awkward seasons with it. You know, like that. I had some in-between seasons, and it's so weird. You just look weird, and everything's weird. It's almost like puberty again.
Yeah, it's like middle school.
It's like all the way back to Bieber haircut, middle school Zach with braces.
Okay, I'm going to move us on. What does a typical date night look like for you guys? That's a fun question. That is a fun question. Love date night. That is one thing about us.
Yeah.
And I feel like so many couples say, like, that have kids, they're like, just wait, because once you have kids, and we're going to be like, here's the kid. We need date night. Yeah, we also do date day too. And we love date day. It depends on the week.
We're definitely flexible on it, but we do a date night or date day every week. Really, without question.
Yeah.
Like, we were told before we got married, in premarital, like, schedule a date night or date day, whatever it is, whatever works.
But we have been doing that, like, even through dating too, because we were both really busy when we started dating. So we went ahead and like put that on the calendar. So honestly, when we got married, it was really nice to keep doing that. And people made fun of us all the time because they were like, you have to calendar out your dates. But we did. We really did. We were really busy in that season. So, but it was so nice because then
hear this. Your calendar reflects your priorities in life.
Okay, pastor.
I'm saying, hey, not pastor. I mean, that's just leadership in general. You know,
That's true though.
If you're gonna have priorities in life, it should show up on your calendar.
Preach it.
I'll say it.
I cannot.
I'll
Okay,
say
so
it.
what does a typical date night look for us? You want to go?
Yeah. So a lot of times, we usually plan it last minute.
Yeah.
Honestly, and we like food. We like fun. I was
Don't make it
try
another
to think
F.
of another
Oh my
F, and I couldn't
gosh,
think of it.
So cringy.
No. Usually it's like we try to go out to eat somewhere,
Yeah.
and
We love like going. You know, we live in Charleston, so we have great like downtown restaurants, which is fun.
Yeah, like
in the winter especially.
yeah. So
We love to go downtown.
Did we have date day on Friday this past week or Saturday?
I don't remember all the days are running together. I had a shoot every day.
Either
Told you
one.
guys.
We went to this place called Shiki
Oh,
downtown, and it's one of our favorite. It's our favorite sushi place to go to.
But it's one of our favorite
Charleston.
restaurants in Charleston.
Oh
in
my
general.
gosh, it's absolutely amazing. So we went there, and then afterward we went and got some ice cream. We hung out for a little bit, and then we came back to our place and just like chilled for a while. Yeah, it was a good day.
We love going to the beach, so sometimes
Love
we'll
going
even
to
just
the
like go
beach.
surf together. Honestly, what's nice about our date nights is we try to like, what do we need this week? Do we need adventure? We'll go out and do something more fun. Do we need something like that's just restful? You know, we kind of
And we
take
try
a
to
pulse
be
of it.
pretty intentional with it. It's like, all right, we're going to set our phones down. We're gonna like just not. We're not gonna be together and be on our phones.
Yeah.
Like there was one date morning, I guess we took, and we went to this breakfast spot downtown, and we sat down. We were sitting there like,
oh my gosh,
having
I
this.
forgot about that.
This is the bad thing about us is like Alex and I, when we're in public and we're eating,
so annoying.
we're loud, we're obnoxious,
We're just hanging out. We're having fun together.
We're having fun. We're gonna have fun. We're not gonna be, like awkward.
We're on vacation when we're together, honestly.
Yes. But literally right next to us was this other couple, and the entire time we were there for probably an hour, maybe a little bit.
It was
more.
probably longer than that.
An hour and a half. The entire time, this couple did not talk to each other. They
Not
were on
one
their
word.
phones.
Like,
the
not
entire
one
time.
word. They were on their phones, and then finally, the guy was on his phone. The girl puts her phone down and starts looking at us.
Yeah, she
and
starts
was in our
listening
conversation.
to our
And
conversation.
we were like, what do we do about this? And then I started feeling awkward because I was like, oh, we are kind of loud. Like, I started getting self-conscious. But anyway, we will never be the couple that's like on their phones together.
True.
We're always going to put our phone away for
That's
a date
true.
night.
And we're just gonna have fun. That's the thing about
we
dates.
love having fun.
If you're going on a date, make it fun. It shouldn't be like, don't make it a time where it's like, all right, let's have this serious conversation. It's like, no, we're gonna have fun doing this. Like, we're just gonna have a good time. Yeah.
Should we move on to the next question?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Okay. What is it like to be the partner of someone who's a photographer / always on work mode? That's a good question.
It's a great question.
I think that was Kayla, if I remember. So, hey, Kayla.
Hey, Kayla. That's a good question.
He needs
I
to
would
think about it.
say, I love it. I really do. I love it.
Well, you better.
I think it's true. I think it's cool to see Alex kind of like pursuing something that she's really passionate about, something that fills her up. I would say like that's a pretty important thing for me to see her in a place where she's like happy in life. And we were joking around the other day. There's that old saying, happy wife, happy life. And before we were married, Alex was like, I hate that phrase, like it's so dumb, all of this kind of stuff.
I didn't say it was dumb.
She's like, oh, I don't like it. And then I remember like a year into marriage, she's like, yeah, that phrase is kind of true. And I was like, yeah, it is. It really is. But I do. I want to see her happy. And we've had to learn, I think, throughout the years, just how to set up good boundaries in our lives. And that is the thing, maybe a misconception. Like, she's not always on. And we try to be pretty intentional about, like, having days and having times. And we do have to be flexible with this, but of having days and times where she's off, where she's not working. And
I do try to have really good boundaries.
Yep.
To be able to balance with my life and social life and everything.
And I know her boundaries, and so I can also hold her accountable to those boundaries as well.
Bear just hopped on the couch.
Good boy.
Hi, buddy.
Bear loves a snuggle.
He does.
And that's why he's
Anyway,
great.
yeah, I think like it is definitely a misconception of entrepreneurship that you do have to always be on, because that's not true. You get to decide your boundaries. You get to decide when you're on. And it definitely means you carry a different burden for your business, like obviously, than if you're working for someone else, because it's yours. You own it, you know, and you carry the passion that comes with that and also the burden that comes with that. But you decide your schedule. So
yeah, and it's like that with anything. Like if you're somebody leading something, you're going to care way more about it than anyone else in the world, because it's yours. You're owning it. So whether that's me for the church or Alex for running her business and photography and everything, like we both have to keep each other accountable to, like, yes, pour into this because it's important, but also rest is important. And like we try to hold to a weekly Sabbath of some kind, and like if you hear that day and you don't know what that means, it's just a rest day. It's a day where we're not working, where we can be together, where we can reset and even just like recenter ourselves on God. And yeah, it's kind of like a day where we can just reset, have fun.
Yeah. Go surfing.
Go surfing together.
Go to the beach.
Yep. Or clean our house, or just like get stuff done.
Yeah. But I think it's like super helpful for my business. And also the more that I rest, the more creative that I am. And I guess that kind of goes back into the inspiration even. But like I notice when I go on vacation or when I have a really solid rest day, my brain is on when it comes to like work, but it's not the burdensome work. It's the like creativity is flowing. Like Zach and I, even when we're on our date nights, I'm like, what do you think about this? And it's like an exciting thing, you know, it's not something that like, it's like we get to dream together, and I'll bring him in on that a lot of the time just because I'm an external processor. but I want to like, when I am more restful, I'm able to like dream more and then bring that to Zach too. So
yeah, I mean, not to like Jesus juke you, but that's how God kind of set it up, you know, like 6 days of creation, 1 day of rest.
True.
And so
you are like, very pastoral.
I'm just saying, it just came to my mind, so I'm saying it. I just say what comes to my mind.
It's only episode 2, but we're coming in hot. Anyway, yeah, I think that was a good answer. Do you have anything else on that one?
Nope.
Okay. I only have 2 more questions. This one, do you have any nicknames for each other?
Probably too many.
Probably too many.
We have a lot. And I have a lot for her. Probably I have more for you than you have for me.
That's true.
I always come up with nicknames, random nicknames.
Yeah.
And I think maybe it's just like my dumb brain. I just say stupid stuff. But it's like one of the nicknames I started calling her earlier on was Babushka.
We looked it up. Babushka. It means a large Russian woman.
I don't even know where I heard it, but one day
that's what Zach calls me.
I started calling her my babushka.
So then now I call him Babushko, and then Bear is Baby Babush. Which, honestly, this is all very cringy, but it's true. That's Babushka.
Yep. And then, there's
Squirrel. You call me Squirrel.
Yeah, I call her my squirrel. And
instead of girl.
That's really just because it rhymes with girl.
Yeah.
And so I was like, thinking one day, like, what rhymes with girl?
So creative.
And I started calling her my squirrel instead of my girl.
Yeah, so he calls me Squirrel.
I call her my squirrel.
Do you have any other ones for you?
Z.
Oh, yeah, I say Z.
Z, yep.
But you're kind of, your like, family did that, and then I just adopted it.
That's true. You need to get better.
I know. I really am learning that. All I have is Babushko? That's bad.
Growing up, people call me Zato all the time. Last name is Otto.
So I call you Zaccato.
Yeah, she calls me Zaccato. That is true.
Yeah, but I also didn't come up with that. One of our friends did, and then again, I just adopted it. I am not creative when it comes to nicknames.
No, you're not.
I need to think about this more.
What else? Do I have any more? I feel like I do.
For me?
I call her like babe. You know, my love.
The usuals.
The
you
know.
Those are the top ones, I think.
Oh, I was about to say one, but I think I would get canceled if I said it.
What?
I call her sometimes
my
little Indian girl.
Oh, you're not gonna get canceled by that. I have a lot of Native American in me, and when I was a kid, well, let me explain it. When I was a kid,
that sound old.
does make you sound old.
days.
No, when I was a kid, I was very, very proud of my Native American heritage. But at the time, like, you didn't really say Native American. You always said Indian. Because that was just the time of the times or whatever.
Time of the times.
The time of the times. But I used to like run around the house and be like calling myself an Indian. Like I just so proud that I was Native American. Yeah, I was
That's what she would do.
I was so excited. I would put like a feather in my hair. Like that was like my pride of like my heritage coming out. But Zach heard that story and now like in a sweet way, he's like, "Oh, my little Indian."
It's a great story.
So I hope you don't get canceled from that. I hope we don't get canceled from that. But oh well, if we do, I'm Native American. So
Facts.
Anyway,
I keep saying facts.
That's your nerves coming out. Facts. Oh, the last one is how did you meet, which we already talked about.
We did already talk about that.
So I guess we're kind of done.
We talked a lot about a lot of things.
And honestly, it's been like an hour.
Yeah.
So I think we need to close this episode out.
Yep.
Okay, so Zach, it was great to meet you.
It was great to
I'm
meet
sure that
all of
everyone
you.
loved you and getting to meet you. Like I said, you were very pastoral. That was unexpected. I didn't prep him at all for any of these questions, and he had these one-liners throwing them out there,
It's
you
just
know?
there.
The tweetable quotes.
Yeah.
Remember when people used to say that? Tweetable?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's Xable.
Well, nobody really goes on X.
I do.
There's threads, too. Threadable?
Threads?
Threadable.
Threads is trash. Nobody goes on Threads.
Oh. Okay. And on that note, this was a great episode, guys. I am super excited because the next few episodes, I'm going to take us through some photography things. So I'll kind of start chatting a little bit more about like how-tos or something like that. Honestly, I haven't planned them. But if there's anything you specifically want to hear about, just DM me at Alex Blake Photography and I'd love to chat.
Enjoy
Anything
the
else?
song.
Oh yeah, enjoy the song after this. Zach made it. Okay, I'll see you guys next Thursday on Let's Create. I'm your host, Alex Blake. See you later.